All right, what is going on, guys? It is Austin, and I'm going to make a recap on a red day here. So it's been a while since I did a recap on a day where I lost money. So I want to show you guys I'm transparent. You know, I show you the winners, I show you the losers. Today was not good. I mean, obviously not good because I lost money, but I just traded so bad today, and honestly, I probably should have lost a lot more. At one point on the day, I was down about probably over 2,000 unrealized at one point. And it was really kind of Viru that kind of came back from the dead in that last hour of trading that kind of brought me back to a loss, but not a ridiculous loss. And really everything went wrong on this Twitter trade. And anyway, so let's get into it. And I want to remind you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new. I do these recaps. I go live on Tuesday mornings, and you guys can just trade alongside me, not copy me, but see what I'm doing. And I have noted the request to reduce the delay on those live streams, but I have that delay in there so you guys don't copy exactly what I'm doing for your own financial safety, basically. But anyway, I will reduce that. But anyway, let's get into the trades from today. I'm gonna go chronologically as always, and even though I was red today, it feels good to be doing one of these recaps. So all right, so let's get started. Nvidia was my first trade, and this one I look back on, and this was just an insane opportunity to go short. I believe it actually made a new low. If you look at the daily, you can see it actually made a fresh low, on the week today, and that's just insane because I was actually looking at this pre-market. I was looking at this, and this is a stock that I've been trading pretty much like every day this week because look at how it moves. It moves, 227 down to 217, $10 a share move. This thing moves like crazy. So. And it moves with the market, and it's been lagging the market. So on days where I like the short in the market, this has been an amazing one to trade because it tends to lag the market. It's been pulling the NASDAQ down, and it has these insane moves. So Nvidia has been an awesome stock to trade, but I actually went long off the open as it kind of was finding support on VWAP, and I was looking at this pre-market, and I liked the long on it. And so I took some profit here as it came up, but then as it pulled back, and then here it was initially struggling on this candle. Okay, what is my chart doing? It was struggling on this candle, so you can see I just hopped out 225.46, so down toward the low of this candle I got out, even though it gave kind of one more big move up before this massive drop. And I just salivate over this short. I should have been short all through here, but did I short it? No, I went long, and I tried to buy a dip on it, 300 shares, and this was really just going to be a scalp trade, and that's what it was. I got like 20 cents or whatever out of it here, and then of course I messed up and I bought it again and got out 200, but then and then I stopped out 100 here and then bought a dip even lower at 218.54. I thought I was actually, even though this stock is dropping like a rock and it's giving like no bounces basically, so when you see that, you shouldn't go long like I am here. This is where basically my bad trading begins, is trying to long this. I don't know why I am, because usually I would be short here. That's what I've been doing all week. So for whatever reason I'm going long, but I thought I was actually kind of maneuvering this kind of cleverly because I stopped out here below 220 and then I bought this dip at 218.50. I actually thought I got a pretty good dip on that and was going to get a bounce. No bounce. I added here 100 shares on this candle with a bit of a tail, and then here it came up. I got 100 shares out, but it was just so struggling to make any sort of comeback. So you can see I just held this and held this and held these 300 shares. I added another 100 shares back here, got a bit of a pop here. My break even was about 218.40 or something. It came up here. I got some out there, so got that 100 out. You can see I'm scalping 100 out here, making some money, but I'm still holding that 300 shares from all the way over here at 218.54. So those shares I held all the way. You can see it came down here to 215.60, so I was down like really bad. And then it came back up and recovered, and I got everything out for, you know, almost break even basically, across these scalps, and all these shares basically was all just break even. So on this first trade I made like 180, like 90, like just below 200, basically 200 on this trade, and then I lost like all through here, I lost like 25 bucks. So I was like, wow, I actually got away from that. But you can see I had to hold this until like 11:25. I was like sitting here holding those shares. And so I can't believe I got out there, because you can see it did not come up that high again for the rest of the day. So that was good on me to get out of those shares. And I mean, I don't know how I did it, but all right. So from there, I was in other trades at the same time. So let's take a look at, I believe, Viru. I had trades on this. So yeah, actually I had trades on this at the same time as I was doing stuff with NVIDIA. I was trading this. So I'm thinking about Monday, and I'm really realizing that like what I need to do is just focus on one thing at a time. And if I'm trading small caps, I'm trading small caps. You guys know I don't usually trade small caps. But if I'm gonna trade small caps, then I need to make that my focus, and make that stock my focus, and just forget about NVIDIA, forget about the market, and just trade small caps. Or the other way around, just focus on the market, focus on NVIDIA, and just forget about the small caps. Don't be in small caps and large caps at the same time. It's just too much to focus on at once, and that screwed me on this trade. You can see here, I bought this dip. I really liked this trade. This was awesome, man. Look at this. I bought 500 shares here, 14.90. I was buying this dip, watching the curl. I knew this was going to give a squeeze. I just knew it, because Viru, watching the price action, I made like 1,200 bucks on it at the end of the day yesterday. Which I can show you. I posted that trade in the Discord. If you don't already know, join the Discord. But I had this amazing trade on it at the end of the day yesterday. Look at this. Amazing trade into the afternoon. And I had bought it here kind of high and was down on the trade. And then here I just went from like a break-even day to a massive day. Because of that trade. And just watching the price action, I was like, this is not done, man. This is not done. So we got this kind of dip off the open into some of these pre-market levels. Nice support in here. And then simply buying that. And then look here, as this candle came down and started to get bought back up, I was like, I'm adding 1,000 shares. I'm adding another 500 shares. So I was long 1,000 shares here. I added at 14.98. Look at this ad, guys. 14.98 right here before this move. I was not even thinking that it was going to give this move immediately. I was ready for it to kind of consolidate a little longer, but I was like, I'm adding, because I really like this for some type of squeeze here. And so I was long 1,000 shares at like 14.95. It squeezes up to a high of 16.32. So I was up over $1,000 at the high of this candle, and I got out 600 shares for an average of 1568. So not great, because I got out some at like 58 here right as it was squeezing up, and then I got out a little bit more, a little bit higher at 1620. I got 100 shares out. So I got out like 500 at 58, and then 100 at like 1620. So like a bit of a weird exit there. Then I got another 100 out on this doji candle, but I was looking for more. And oops. So I was looking for more here. But again, I was looking at NVIDIA. I was in that trade as well at the same time. And as I was looking at NVIDIA, I clicked back to the stock, and it was either dumping or it was already halting down. I think it might have been already halting down, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. So believe it or not, even at this low, I was still green on the trade from these take profits, but I was still holding 300 shares into this halt going down. So that's below my cost basis. That's 14.05. So I was down on those shares, and I was just like, oh my God. I went from, awesome on the day and up 1,000 straight away, unrealized here, and taking some off. But then down here, I was up at that point on the trade only like 200. Then it resumed lower, popped up. I didn't get out. It dipped even lower, and I was like, oh God. And at this point, down here at this low, I was up on the stock only like 50 bucks unrealized. I was up like 50 bucks. So I'd given back like everything, because I just those 300 shares all the way down here. But then as it popped back up, I decided to get out of those shares. And so at that point, I got away with $300 on the stock. I was up 300 when I got out here. Should have just held those shares. Look at this. Came all the way back up and was ripping up. So again, I was in NVIDIA and I was looking at it, Viru here. I saw it here and I was like, I want to buy shares. I tried to. I put an order in to buy and I got rejected. I didn't have enough buying power for whatever well, I knew why, because I was short shares in NVIDIA, so it wouldn't let me buy this stock. And I thought briefly for a moment about cutting the NVIDIA position for a loss and just jumping into this because I liked it so much for that rip back up. I mean, I looked at this setup and I was like, this stock is gonna give another squeeze up. I gotta get into it. But I was like, no, I'm gonna wait out this NVIDIA trade. And before I knew it, I looked back and this stock was halted going up and resumed, 1750. I think I tried to buy 500 shares or I might have even tried to buy 1,000 shares here. That would have been my biggest trade ever if I had taken it. It's crazy how these amazing things I just avoid by stupid decisions, where I should have just cut that NVIDIA trade for a loss and jumped in here for 1,000. I would have had my biggest trade ever, been up on the day massively. Yeah, it's hard to reflect on this, guys, because I saw this here. I really did, and I wanted it, but I was in that other trade. I didn't have enough buying power. I thought, let me see if I can get NVIDIA back up. I'll get out of that break even, then I'll go back to Viru. But that's not how it works. Stocks don't wait for you. They don't wait for you. You got to jump into setups when they come. So, all right, that happened. So then I was like, all right, well, I missed that, and Viru, came down, did its thing, was consolidating here. At this point at 11:25, I had just gotten out of NVIDIA, so I was like, okay, I can look back at Viru. So I looked back at Viru and I was like, well, it's doing a lot of this consolidation. I kind of like it for a curl back up through the highs. During this consolidation, I want to play a breakout. So I liked it here. I bought it 300 above VWAP, and I was thinking about the flush because that is something you see quite often too. But I thought that the risk was worth it for me. So I did 300. I added here at 61. Nice add, pop back up, and then here explodes up to 1675. I got 300 out at 1651. So again, nice trade here. So deja vu here. Breakout, taking profit, but waiting for more. Wham! Hammer comes down. I'm just like, what? Come on. And just like that, I'm down on the trade and still holding half of the position. I add here. This is stupid. I add here. I think the reason I added here, and usually when this happens, usually when a stock falls apart like this, completely breaks down, usually the small caps, do this, but after they're just done. They're done for the day. But I thought Viru is different because this one already had this day here, if you look at this chart, where it was just dead on the open and just died throughout the entire day. But then, as we can see, it curled back up and went through the highs the next day. That was yesterday, where I had that nice trade on it in the afternoon. And this is exactly what I was looking for to play out, by the way. And so that I thought, okay, usually it would be dead after the kind of that first pop, but we're seeing continuation, we're seeing more action. So I thought this stock's different. I think that this one can be, I think what's going to happen is it's going to have one of these big drops, and then all the traders kind of look away, and then when they look back, they're like, oh, dang it, like I missed it, it's up at $20. That's kind of what I was thinking, and I was like, I want to be that trader that doesn't miss this one come back up. I don't know, that thinking doesn't really make sense now that I say it out loud, but it does happen a lot where stocks, you look away and then you come back, whatever. So, but this one continued to fall apart and it had this huge flush down here, and I thought, well, it has some support here. So what did I do? I added again. Now I'm long 1,000 shares. So I only had 300. I could have just cut those, but I just kept averaging in because I thought it was going to come back up. Slowly but surely it did. It grinded all the way back up. I got out 200 shares here at VWAP. And I thought, here we go. It's going to do a double bottom, and we're going to go to rip back up to 1650. At least I'll take some more up, at these tops here. I'll get some more out. Oh, but no, it rejected. And as it rejected here, I thought, well, it's fine. It'll just curl back up. It needs another go. But it kept dropping. Came back up here. Here we go. Looking for 1650. Nope. Dropping back down. Double bottom. Here we go. Nope. Breaking down again. Then it came all the way back down to these lows, all the way back down here, and made a fresh low under this one. It's 1342. So down here, I was really hurting. I was still long 800 shares, And at this point, this is where I was probably on the day unrealized down like 2,000 or more. But man, it came back from the dead, and I knew it had support down here at these bottoms, so looking for the triple bottom, and that's exactly what we got. And in that last hour of the day, it came roaring back up. Well, not roaring, but it was slow and steady, a lot of choppiness, a lot of nerves here, but I have to keep cool. And as it came back up, I got out some here. I held this trade into after hours, still long 700 shares, out another 100, out another 100, out another 100 up here as it squeezed up. I should have gotten more out up there, but then as it kind of faded back in, I thought, all right, I'm done for the day. Got out 400 at 15. So the fact that I was able to get a lot of these shares out above $15 is a blessing, and I will take that. And I'm actually ending the day green on this stock, almost 800. So that was my trading on Vero. I feel like I would have been better off, obviously, in hindsight, just taking everything off on these pops, because I saw these coming. I got in nicely before them. Here, I wanted this one too. I feel almost as if I had this trade because I just literally couldn't take it because my platform told me I didn't have enough buying power. I tried to buy it somewhere in here, but it wouldn't let me. So I feel like I caught all these pops, and I'm ready to trade this one on Monday if it's still active. Usually I don't trade small caps, but like when my personality jives with another stock's personality and we're getting along and I'm seeing the moves, I should be trading it. So let's move on because I spent a lot of time on that one. So Twitter, obviously, I'm not going to go over the news. Everyone already knows that Elon, put in a bid to buy the entire company. So this one had been fading in the pre-market and early in the day. And as I looked at this here, this was 10:30, so I was still in NVIDIA, but I got long this stock purely based off of the setup. And this is why you should not be trading small caps and large caps at the same time, because I was not, I was looking at what the market was doing. I always have it open, but I should have been doing more. I should have kind of redone my analysis of the market kind of at that 10:30 period, because I would have seen that the market was really bearish and it came down hard after I got in this trade. So I think I was right about this kind of double bottom here, and I really liked this. For a moment, I was up like 200 bucks on this trade. I took way too big size on this trade, and that was definitely emotionally fueled by what was going on with me in NVIDIA and how I was down on that trade. So I was definitely emotionally fueled, and this was my worst trade of the day. Not just P&L, but just the carelessness to just buy 1,000 shares of Tesla or of Twitter, which is just insane size for a day where it's having crazy news, crazy moves. You can see in each of these candles, this is a 25-cent candle. So with 1,000 shares, that's a $250 candle, like in 1 minute. So it's just so reckless for me to be doing that. I actually think the setup was good. So that was like, it was fine that I, took advantage of that setup, but ultimately the market dictates how stocks move. And I'm not sure if the market pulled it down, or maybe this would have happened anyway because it came so far down. This one's news driven. So as this, kind of was breaking down, I should have just gotten out of it and realized my mistake. Here I could have gotten out for like a $150 loss. If I had done that, I would be green today, but I didn't. And it came all the way back down here and then ripped back up, but then just fell apart. And as it was kind of grinding lower, I just sensed this to happen, this acceleration to the downside. So I was like, unfortunately, I just need to get out of this. So I got out here of the 1,000 shares, 46.27. So I took $1,000 loss so I took $1 hit on 1,000 shares. So, what was I thinking? I don't know. Then I was actually going to short the stock. I immediately was going to short the stock because I was like, well, I actually think the short setup is here, and I'm not bullish on this stock. This setup looks terrible. So it actually looks like a short. So I tried to short it, but only filled me 20 shares, and then I just covered it a couple minutes later because, it's as if I may as well not even be in it. I shorted the first bounce, and for a moment, I took smaller size here, half size, half of the ridiculous size I took before. Then as it came down here, I was up like 200 plus on the trade, didn't get out of it, and then ultimately got out break even on those shares, which probably was a good thing as it then ripped back up to 47. So anyway, this one I just botched, and I just traded this one badly, and this just it was stupid. 1,000 shares, and that's just too big size, and it's just ironic that I felt like I needed to have this big trade to get green on the day, and I was emotionally fueled to take that position, and those are the mistakes I need to avoid. And it's ironic that if I had just not done that, I would have been green today. So whatever. And it's funny to see in after hours it actually almost hit my break even on those 1,000 shares, but all of that is irrelevant. Just before the close, it was at its low, 44.66. I would have been down almost $3 a share on 1,000 shares. I would have been down almost $3,000 on this stock if I had just held it to the close. So whatever. So that was Twitter. And then GNS, this one. So again, I was just all over the place at the open, and just focusing on too many things at once. So I'm way better off, and I'm making more money when I'm just looking at the market and trading a stock like Nvidia, like I'm trading the market, looking for relative strength, looking for relative weakness. I really just need to go back to I'm just doing too many things at once. It's just not, it doesn't work. So GNS, I completely forgot. I was in this stock. This was actually my first trade, actually. I was long 100 shares, and I mean, given the range today, this was massive size, and I had avoided a huge loss on this in hindsight, but I kind of drew out this wedge pattern pre-market, and I thought, well, it's probably going to, I thought the risk reward on this was pretty good, because I thought it was going to test the upper end of this pennant shape up at 2270, and then I thought it was going to possibly break out and give another squeeze like it has in the past, up to 25, 27, 30. I don't know. I thought that it was worth it, because I thought it had potential, home run potential, and as we can see now, it just broke out downside out of the pennant, and I should have just gotten out of it when it was here. I could have easily just gotten out of it for less than I could have gotten out of it here for a $50 loss, but instead I took a $550 loss. It halted going down here, and then it resumed at 1260, and before I could even get out, it was halted going up at 14. And then on the next resumption, it kind of came up here, and I got out. I just set my order in front of 15, because I was like, I don't know what this is going to do. Right now it's halting going up, and it's coming back up, but I just got to get out, because what are the odds it comes all the way back up? It's this, I'm going to take a hit on this, so I may as well just get out. So it popped up here to 1730 in hindsight. I can see that now, but I mean, I don't regret getting out here. So it popped up here, but then look what it did the rest of the day. This stock hit a low of $6.59. Wow. So my out at 15 looks pretty good compared to that low of $6. So wow, I did not expect it to do that, but that's why you get out of the trades. So anyway, so yeah, a bad trade here, but if it had worked out, it would have been probably maybe a bigger winner than it was a loser for me in this case. So I don't know. Yeah, pretty bad. So, but all said and done, I'm finishing down 624, which isn't the end of the world. So even with that horrible mistake on Twitter, and by some miracle I'm green on Nvidia, and GNS, just whatever, I don't know what to say about it. And Vero was the only one I felt like I actually traded well today, despite, again, I just gave this, I don't know, I don't even think I traded this one well. I saw the breakouts well, but this is questionable, adding as it just dies here, and then I don't know. So I feel like maybe I got a little lucky that this one came back up, but I was really looking at these charts and thinking, this one's not done. Because here's the thing, when a small cap, I don't know, I can just feel it with this price action that this was kind of a consolidation day, and I think on Monday this one's got more excitement to be had on this, because usually with a small cap, it's the initial run up, and then kind of once it has that first major pullback, it's just done. Usually it's just this, it's just done. But here we saw a major pullback and it's not done. And it seems like every one of these dips getting bought up. It's still got a good setup here, kind of long term as you zoom out to, you know, a 30-minute chart or an hourly chart. You know, there's still some bullishness here that I'm seeing. So I don't know. I think this one could still be tradable on Monday. All right, so a bit of a longer recap here, coming up to 25 minutes. So I apologize for that, but hopefully it was helpful for you. Again, if it was, I do appreciate you guys hitting the thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. And other than that, that's all I got for you. I will be live next Tuesday and finishing the week green, but I wish I had traded better today. So pretty exhausting day for me. I pretty much traded all day, but anyway. All right, that's it for me. Have a good weekend.